Alrighty then, welcome back to another episode of Dave's Dinners. I've got the green t-shirt on today. This actually came all the way from Borneo. My mother bought it for me. It's a golf t-shirt and I'm wearing it today. One of my favourites. But we're back again with another episode of Dave's Dinners. For dinner this week, I'm going to be baking a gnocchi and vegetable bake. Alright then guys, this is a pretty simple dinner we're doing this evening. I'm not going to be making my own gnocchi. I have got a bag of ready-made gluten-free gnocchi. I have made gnocchi before, but it takes ages and I just don't really have time for it at the moment, to be honest, and it is really hard work. And I'm basically going to have it with a couple of onions. I've got a red one and a normal one. You can have any combination you like. Some garlic, gotta have some garlic, green pepper. You don't have to have green pepper, you can have any colour pepper you like. I actually like red peppers more than green peppers, but because we're having like a tomato based sauce in it, I wanted to have green because it's a nicer contrast. But yes, you need some tomato based sauce. We've actually got a jar of this tomato and herb bolognese pasta sauce, but you can pretty much have whatever you want. This is half a jar, so about 300 grams, or you can make your own from scratch using tomatoes and tomato puree and sort of all that sort of jazz. But again, I don't really have time for that right now, so I'm going with the jar. I've also got a bit of basil. This is starting to look a little bit sad, but it's still fine. And then finally, some mozzarella. This is a ball of mozzarella, which is surrounded in juicy, so that needs to be drained and sliced. But that's pretty much it. It's nice and simple, and it doesn't take too long to cook either. So I'm gonna start doing some prep work. Actually, I'm gonna turn the pan on first because I need to get that water boiling for the gnocchi. I'm gonna do all my prep first, like always, and then we're gonna go from there. So the first thing I'm gonna do is cut up my green pepper. There's loads of different ways to cut up a green pepper, but what I usually do is cut the bottom off, and then I'll do 4 cuts on each side. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4, and then that just pretty much leaves the core and you're not really missing out on anything there. I find that the easiest way to cut up a pepper, but there might be other ways to do it, but if you want an easy way, then I'd go that way. Now you can also cut these up however you like as well. I'm just going to do them in chunks, but you can do them finer if you like. You can do them in chunks, or you can leave them like that if you want, or you can just chuck a whole pepper in, or do them smaller, whatever you want really. I'm going to do them into chunks like this. Right, so that's the pepper done there. I'm now going to cut up the onions. Right, so I'm going to go chunky onions again, so in half, and then nice and easy, nothing complicated. But as always, cut them how you like. I've actually left the garlic last for a change. I don't know why I've done that. I don't really know how many cloves to do. I usually do half a bulb. Reason being is I really like garlic. It's one of my favourite things, and I don't know. I'm going to go for half a bulb. I'm also going to do this basil quickly as well. Don't worry if the leaves are slightly wilted, it really doesn't matter at all. But just pick the leaves away from the stalks. And then that's just going to get stirred in later, so I've just kind of gone for like half a bunch here. You don't have to have that much. I might not use it all actually, to be honest, there's quite a bit there. But I love the smell of basil, it's one of my favourite smells, it's incredible. Just reminds me of like tomato based sauces. And then finally, I'm going to cut up my mozzarella, but first I'm going to stab it and drain out all the juice, and then slice up the ball. I'm just going to do it into slices like this, because we're going to spread it out evenly over the top at the end. So if you slice it like that, then it will give a good bit of coverage. You don't want it too thick because you want to have enough slices to cover the dish. So that, guys, is all of the prep work done. I also need to crush the garlic, but I'll do that later like I always do. So that's all ready for the pan, and the water's boiling for the gnocchi, so let's move over to the hob. Right then, I've got my saute pan out again, my favourite pan of all time. And we just want to fry the onions and the peppers, so I'm going to put a little bit of oil in there, not too mad. Then we can crank up the heat. Not too crazy, medium heat will do. Oh, crash bang. And then you want to put the onions and the peppers in the pan and just keep them moving. The water's boiling in here for the gnocchi as well. It's like fresh pasta, so it cooks in like about 2 or 3 minutes. It's really easy, but you put it into the pan of boiling water and then you literally wait for all the gnocchi to kind of float to the surface, and that's pretty much when it's done. So really simple. Keep that stirring. Right, so this is starting to brown off nicely. You don't want to overdo it and burn it, but a slight browning is fine. I mean, it really depends on how you like your onions and your vegetables, to be honest. You might actually really like them burnt to a crisp, in which case keep cooking them on a high heat and get them all nice and black. But I like them kind of just starting to go brown, so I'm going to leave them like that. I'm now going to put the garlic in and let that cook for a minute or 2, and that'll be delightful. I think I've used this in every single one of these Dave's dinners that I've done. I absolutely love this thing. Can't recommend one enough. I don't know if you can see from there, but the gnocchi's just starting to float on the surface, which means that it's ready to be drained. Mind you, this is finished now as well, so I've got kind of multitask here. I'm going to take that off the heat and leave that for a second, because that's pretty much done anyway. And I'll put it back on the heat in a sec. But I need to drain this gnocchi because that is ready. Can you see that? It's all floated to the top. Right, that's done, drained. I'm just going to leave it in the pan for now. And let's go back to this. Low heat. Give it a quick stir. I'm now going to put the tomato sauce in there. Or should I say my tomato and herb bolognese sauce. I'm going to give a quick swish around with some cold water in there just to get all the rest of the loveliness out. Just a quick squirt of cold water and then a shake and bake to get nearly all of it out. And then we'll just start stirring that round. Lovely jubbly. So now this has been cooking lovely jubbly for a couple of minutes now. I'm going to add the basil, or as some of you might call it, basil. I don't know why you'd call it basil when it clearly is called basil. But we're just going to stir that through. Super duper. Lovely jubbly. So I'm just going to stir this through, not for too much longer, just to kind of mix it all up. And then we are going to add the gnocchi to the dish. Actually, I'm going to do it now. I can't wait. In goes the gnocchi. Oh, look at it. Isn't that just fantastic? You can actually take this off the heat. I'm going to take it off the heat because it's all cooked. We just need to stir this through. There we go. That's well combined. Now we're not finished yet, guys. We now need to spread the mozzarella over the top. Just like this, to kind of give it a covering. Now I said this was a bake, but it's not really a bake as such, because I'm going to grill it and just melt the mozzarella on the top. So it's kind of a bake without sort of like the bake, if you know what I mean. But we're going to get the grill going. And we're going to slot it under there and then let it grill away nicely, keeping an eye on it though. I want it to go just brown, not burnt, but enough so that it's all lovely jubbly, if you know what I mean. That is looking pretty much perfect. You can see how it's kind of crisped up slightly on the top, but the cheese has also melted. It's going to be super stringy inside as well. Oh, it smells incredible. This is so delicious and it's so easy to do. I really can't recommend gnocchi enough. It's one of my favourite things. Look at that, steamy, steamy. Well, I think I've done that a bit uneven. Might have to re-even that up again. So there you go, guys. That is my version of a gnocchi and vegetable bake. You can't see the mozzarella because it's gone to the bottom, but never mind, it's still going to taste delicious. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and make sure you come back next week for another episode of Dave's Dinners. So thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.